Hello and welcome to Up to Speed. So last night Blackmagic announced some interesting new live production products. We have a new ATEM Television Studio HD, a HyperDeck Studio Mini, and a fascinating new product called the Web Presenter. The general theme of the announcement seemed to be that they were targeting the online content producers, particularly people who are interested in live streaming, whether that's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or anything similar like those. The new Web Presenter is very much aimed at that market, but the others could also have a lot of appeal too. So let's go through each of them in a bit more detail for you. First up is the new HyperDeck Studio Mini. This is a 4K capable recording and playback deck, which is very compact considering the amount that it can do. It uses SD cards and it can either record a ProRes file in a similar way to their video assists do if you're familiar with those, or it can play back and output 4K HDMI, meaning this could be very powerful for digital signage uses. In fact, they would work a treat in our showroom here to send content to our 4K TVs. They can also be looped together and synced so that you can use them to power big screen displays, so several displays together as an array, where the first player in the line controls all of them at once, and they're each playing a different quarter of the content, or however small you want to break it up. So that's really powerful. Then they announced an update to their popular but aging ATEM Television Studio, called the ATEM Television Studio HD. This is a complete redesign of the product to fit within the current Blackmagic ecosystem. The biggest change really is the design. It's smaller and more portable, and now just as much at home on a desktop as it is on a rack-mounted system. It's also cheaper than the old version because they've taken out the H.264 streaming features, as they decided they should be an optional additional product that runs alongside this, rather than you having to pay for it whether you're interested in live streaming or not. So that brings us on to the new Web Presenter. I think this is the most interesting product of the group personally. It essentially gives you a way of getting a HDMI or SDI signal from a professional camera into a computer. But it tricks the computer into thinking that that signal comes from a webcam. So that means it works seamlessly in live streaming software or even things like Skype, which expect to be used with a webcam. It can accept up to a 4K signal and then it downsamples that to 720p, which may seem low, but realistically that's the resolution that most live streams are using at the moment, as it's much more stable and needs less bandwidth than 1080p does. You can of course get a HDMI or SDI video feed into a computer without this box and send that signal into live streaming software. That's nothing new at all. But without this box, you are letting the software do the down converting and the compressing on the fly, as well as the uploading and the transmitting. And that's a big ask from one piece of software. With this new Web Presenter, all the processing is done outside of the computer in this Web Designer box, meaning that the live streaming software is getting exactly the signal it needs at the quality it needs. But that isn't all, because the software essentially thinks the signal is coming from my webcam. That means if your internet connection dips, it will send a signal to the Web Presenter that it can't cope, and the Web Presenter will lower the frame rate of the transmission, just like what would happen on a webcam. This means you should notice less massive quality dips when the connection gets bad. When the connection does get bad, the video will just show at a lower frame rate, which should end up looking much smoother to the average end user. The last little announcement Blackmagic had up their sleeves was about the studio camera. This has been around a while, and they've had feedback from users saying that they were having difficulty shipping the cameras around by air because of the internal batteries. Airlines have quite strict restrictions on batteries, and so that was causing people some issues. So in response to this, Blackmagic are now offering a lower cost studio camera which simply doesn't have an internal battery at all. I think this is a great idea, especially as realistically most users will have these cameras plugged into mains power. I mean, if you're tethered anyway by an SDI cable to a switcher and talkback system, which presumably you are, otherwise the studio camera would be a strange camera to choose, there's more than likely no reason you can't have an extra cable as well for your power. So that's what's new from Blackmagic. We think if you're interested in small, portable live production, and definitely if you're interested in online content and live streaming, these products should definitely be on your radar. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more updates like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.